an unlikely centre for railway enthusiasts. After all, the station has been virtually disused since the late 1970s. But now a group of railway buffs like Frank Dawson plans to renovate Tuam station, turning it into a railway history centre. Ironically, Westrail's star attraction is 5 miles away from Tuam.
We're in Ballyglunin, and Ballyglunin is our secret weapon, if you like, with regard to the Tuam development. Here was where The Quiet Man in the early 50s was filmed, or some shots from that film were filmed. And it is to here that we intend to bring our visitors by steam train. Just 5 miles in that direction is the town of Tuam. And we have a very scenic route from here to Tuam. And we'd certainly feel it's within our capacity to have a steam train operating over that on set occasions during the summer.
So there will be enough a Hollywood appeal here as well.
There will be the Hollywood appeal. We'd hope to recall Barry Fitzgerald grabbing John Wayne's suitcases and dashing through those double doors there and bringing back the magic of that film.
Well then, now, I'll begin at the beginning. A fine, soft day in the spring it was when the train pulled into Castletown, 3 hours late as usual, and himself got off. He didn't have the look of an American tourist at all about him. Not a camera on him. And what was worse, not even a fishing rod.
Castletown? Castletown?
Could you tell me the way to Inisfree?
Inisfree, huh? Well, I know all about that from the long hour. When do you know it's been burned about? I know all about that. Interfering with all that. Inisfree This Way.
Well, it all started approximately 2 years ago when CIE decided to terminate the haulage of beet to Tuam Sugar Factory. And that left them with a very large rail facility at Tuam. And rather than see it disposed of and ripped up, the local community, people within the local community began to think of ways in which perhaps it could be utilised. And tourism comes to mind. And there was a growing movement at the time here in the west of Ireland to preserve some of our railways. As we all know, they're being modernised at an increasingly speedy rate. And the hope was that we could hold on to some of the values of the past. So Tuam and the massive infrastructure that stood there lent itself very much towards preservation. And thankfully Irish Rail thought the same. Our long-term intention is to have steam traction. That is the real secret of our success.
What is the special appeal of steam?
Well, steam, I think, brings back to people's minds their youth and happy days, the days when we all felt that summers were all the year round. And they also brought back the romance of the railways. The railway was a very dramatic form of transport in its day, and steam trains were at its most romantic period.
Well, our plan is really to recreate the colour scheme of the early 1900s when it was on the Waterford and Limerick line, and bring it back to the greens of those days to, if you like, Victorianise the exterior. There's some nice ironwork here. There's a bridge overhead, and all the ironwork will be done in the original colours. That would be our main, and the timber, of course, and the old signs. All these things would recreate the atmosphere of the days of steam rail.
This particular one is of coach number 892, which is one of 3 that we have here in Tuam at the moment, ready for restoration. And those coaches will form the vintage train to complement the steam locomotive. They date back to the turn of the century and are genuine, authentic replicas of the past.
Well, this is stage one of our development plan. Here we have the existing railway station at Tuam and the goods section here. And this area here is the Westrail compound, which we are developing. At the far end here we have a turntable which has to be put in operation again. And then we have our engine shed here. There's a new shed to be put up here for an exhibition area. And then this long shed has also to be constructed as an exhibition shed as well.
A very good relationship has developed between ourselves and the people on the SES scheme. They're our weekday workers and we work there at weekends. And we complement each other very much, the SES people from the infrastructural point of view and we from the locomotives point of view.
I'm a supervisor of the social employment schemes around Tuam. We have a number of schemes going. They're run by the County Council and Manpower working together. Our involvement with Westrail has been going on for the last about 4 months. We're mainly involved with doing the groundwork. We don't actually work with the engines, but we're involved in making the track usable, replacing sleepers, straightening the track.
Here at weekends we'd have an active core of volunteers of about 10. We have membership all over Ireland and in fact in America and Europe. It's a pleasurable way of spending a Saturday. We then relax on a Sunday over a few pints and more or less review the activities and review the challenges. Well, here we have the shunter is Philip Clampett, who as a student engineer worked with Westrail and assisted us in our earlier years and is now in fact a full-time mechanical engineer with Irish Rail themselves. So he's an invaluable component of our technical department, I can say. Robert Foster, who's a retired train driver himself, living here in Tuam. And again, from the technical point of view, he's invaluable to us.
I was born in Tuam. I joined the local motor shed at Tuam when I was 14 years and 8 months. I remember the filming of The Quiet Man at Ballyglunin. All the famous actors there on the platform in Ballyglunin as I was passing through with the regular passenger train. Jack Monaghan drove the Loco 54 and his fireman was a man called Gabriel Barrett, both of Tuam Loco Depot. They were doing that work for, I think, well over a week.
On the footplate, we have Bob McGurk, a fitter with Dublin Port and Docks Board.
I'm just an interested party, going back donkey's years, I suppose, with grandfathers and great-grandfathers involved in the railway. And well, I seen The Quiet Man, all right, but like, wasn't interested in it as a film as such. Like, you know, like John Wayne running around the hell you will and all the rest of it. Like, that wouldn't interest me, you know. Looking at the railway, seeing the loco and the gang of fellas on it, you see, and then able to now, like, you know, you can put names to faces, and you get a good kick out of it.
Pride of place goes to number 90, our steam engine, which the emphasis will now be going on restoring. And we've had boiler makers from Inchicore down here. That work will, for insurance purposes, have to be carried out by a professional company and will cost in excess of £5,000. We will rebuild her as she was originally built at Inchicore in 1875. This region has about 1 million visitors per annum, 1 million tourists in the Galway Mayo region. And our intention of bringing to Tuam about 20,000 per annum is not, I feel, unrealistic, particularly when you feel that there will be other tourist attractions in the immediate area.
Agus anis Cursaí speisialta faoin scanán The Quiet Man, a chur láthar ag Seán Ó Milleoin.
This is one of the most famous railway stations in the world. Millions have seen it, but very few of those people could tell you where it is or even what it's really called. Immortalised as it is in the opening scene of the film The Quiet Man, this is where Sean Thornton, or John Wayne if you like, caught his first glimpse of the west of Ireland when he stepped off a steam train just like this one here beside me. Now, John Ford and his Hollywood crew spent 2 weeks filming here, but for all that, this station features in the film The Quiet Man only twice. First, as you know, in the opening scene right at the beginning of the film, and then the second time it features in the film is near the end, just before the fight scene. Now, looking around me, I see we still have the same old green wrought iron gate. It was through here, of course, that John Wayne's horse trotted in the prelude, the build-up to the fight scene. And behind me here is a little flower bed. It was just there that Barry Fitzgerald was sitting, smoking his pipe in between takes. Apart from that, the only real difference between then and now is, of course, the name. In the film, this station is called Castletown Railway Station, but of course, in reality, the real name is Ballyglunin Railway Station, and Ballyglunin is 6 miles south of Tuam, County Galway.
There was a wild colonial boy, Jack Duggan was his name.
This waiting room is important for 2 reasons. Firstly, it was here that Galway's Tithe singers recorded some of the songs that would be heard in The Quiet Man. Songs like The Humour Is On Me Now and The Wild Colonial Boy. But this room is also important for a different reason. It's a kind of a gateway between 2 vastly different worlds. When Sean Thornton, or John Wayne if you like, walked in here, he left behind him the industrialised world of America and walked straight back into his own racial roots. And director John Ford got this point across in a very simple way. When Wayne walked in here, he had his back to the train, a symbol of industrial progress, and in front of him he saw his new mode of transport, one much more in tune with the kind of world he was now entering. He looked out the window there and he saw a pony and trap.